In this video, I'm going to go over something that is undervalued, but honestly super important when it comes to trading, and that is the psychology of trading. They say that trading is 90% psychological and 10% technical, and I 100% agree with that. So in this video, I'm going to break down just a couple of tips that have helped me hit a six-figure income year after year and how you can apply them. Before we get started, I just did open up my mentorship, and I'm looking for 5 people that I can take to a $10,000 a month income from my US 30 strategy. If that is you, click the link in my description to book a call with me, or simply reach out to me on Instagram and let's see if you're a good fit. One more thing, if you guys could show some type of love, like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. And hey, check out my channel. I have a ton of other videos based around trading that can help you guys out. Without further ado, let's get into my computer. Alright guys, the first tip that I think is very important is mastering your patience. I have struggled with this throughout my whole entire life, and it's crazy. I'm going to be very real with you guys. I'm not going to be fake or anything. I'm going to show you like all the real stuff that you need to hear. You might not want to hear this, but this is very important stuff. But I think patience is one of the most important aspects when it comes to trading. And they say a lot of the problems that we have in our trading or as adults, they are traumas that we didn't deal with as children. And I look back at my childhood, I was very impatient, guys. I would always be at family gatherings or at parties, and I would always just want to leave. I knew this was very gonna like really hinder my trading, because when I was younger, let's say I was at a family gathering with my dad, I'd be like, Dad, when are we gonna go home? Dad, can we leave? And my dad would always get really mad with me. He'd be like, Colt, why are you wanting to go? What do you have to do? And I thought back to that and I was like, what did I have to do? And the thing that I realized is I never could be present. And there's a quote, it says, if you're depressed, you're thinking about the past. If you're anxious, you're thinking about the future. If you're at peace, you're thinking about the present. And I realized that I never had peace in my childhood. Maybe that's because my mom abandoned me when I was younger. My parents got divorced. I don't know what it is, but I never had the ability to be present when I was younger. So I want you guys to understand that patience is something that some of us have, others don't. It's been a huge challenge for me throughout my whole entire trading career. And there's some traders, I look at some traders, I'm like, how did you guys become successful in 2 years? It took me 8 years to really be at the level that I'm on today. So patience is super important, and there's so many different ways that patience plays out. The first example is, let's say we're not patient enough to wait for the right setup. In my trading checklist, me making a trading checklist has really helped me become more patient. But there's been plenty of times where I've rushed into a trade, and a lot of you can relate to this. You have this FOMO, fear of missing out. You don't want to miss out on a trade. So I want you guys to understand that patience is probably like the #1 skill to becoming a trader. And another example is, let's say that you're in a trade and your take profit, you have a take profit of 1,000 pips, but you're anxious, you are already in profit 500 pips, and you're like, do you know what? I don't think the trade's going to go to my take profit. Let me just close it early. That's a sign of being impatient. One thing that I like to do when I trade, and TradingView is great for this because they have these alerts. So when I trade, what I do is I set an alert where my take profit and my stop loss is. So when I execute a trade, whether I'm going to buy or sell, I already have my stop loss set. I have my take profit set, and I set and forget it. I go about my day. So when it comes to trading, I've been extremely patient nowadays. I have my alert set. I like to build kind of a routine around my trading schedule. So I wake up pretty early. I'll go to the gym and I'll do some cardio. Then I'll come back, shower, meditate, and then trade. And after I find and execute my trade, I then take my dog for a walk. I work on YouTube videos. Usually I'm posting at like 7, 8 a.m. in the morning. So I have to make sure my editor makes a video and everything's done. So I'm always making sure I'm busy. Guys, if you're sitting in front of the monitor just watching the trade the whole time, you're gonna go stir fucking crazy. Like, you're just gonna be watching it the whole time. So there's different ways to become patient. The ways that I have become much more patient is I meditate. If you just go on YouTube and you type in guided meditation, there's meditations that are like 10 minutes long, 20 minutes long. I just use a guided meditation and I just sit there and I listen to what the meditation's saying. Another thing that has really helped me out is I'm being more present in my day-to-day life. I'm not thinking about the next day. I'm not thinking about what happened yesterday. I'm being present as of what's happening right now. Look, you guys can see this beautiful view behind me. Imagine if an asteroid came right through this window and just, boom, killed me. Why would I be thinking about the next day? What happened yesterday? What happened an hour ago? The car accident I was in recently? Like, why would I be thinking about that when that's not going to matter? I need to focus on my happiness and being present in the moment. So maybe if you're impatient, try doing that. Try meditating. Let me know what you guys think and how that is going to help you guys out. Second tip is greed. I know so many of us are greedy traders, and I feel like impatience is kind of something that we have to struggle with when we first start trading. But I think greed is the number one thing. And I think that a lot of traders, when we come into the markets, we see somebody that's killing it. I know when I first heard about Forex, guys, like one of my mentors, he was on private jets, yachts, like in Miami, just killed it, like doing his thing. And I immediately saw his lifestyle and I was comparing his chapter 30 to my chapter 1. And I saw the results that he had. He was doing like $10,000 a day. And I was like, I want to get to $10,000 a day. So I came into the trading industry with this mentality of I'm trying to get rich quick. I see that this is quick money. So therefore, I was a lot greedier than I needed to be. You guys need to switch from that mindset to a long-term mindset. And remember these two words right here, account preservation. You want to preserve your capital. It's crazy because a lot of us, when we're trading, I don't know if it's a digital component instead of a physical component, but when we're trading and we see those profits on our phone with the losses, like we just take random trades. We're like, oh, who cares? Like we're going to get that money back, whatever. I don't know what it is, but you losing $100 trading does not have the same psychological effect as losing $100 in person. Imagine if you had $100 in your hand and I ran up and boom, took that money out of your hand and ran the other way. You would chase me. But yet a lot of traders out there are just blowing their accounts. They funded with $500 and they're taking the dumbest trade, just risking their whole account. And they're losing that money. And yeah, they kind of are down, but I know I've done this. A lot of traders will like blow their account in the same day, maybe an hour or two later. They're just going back and refunding their account. You guys, the best analogy to think of trading and being greedy is like gambling. You don't want to have that gambler's mindset. And I know that it's hard to be patient and wait, but this whole society that we live in, this social media stuff, guys, is dangerous. A lot of traders are comparing their life, and a lot of people in general are comparing this person's life to our life, and everyone just comparing and keeping up with the Joneses, and I gotta do better than him, I gotta do this. But don't let that get to you, because the whole social media thing, it's like a hustler's mentality. Everyone is saying on social media, work, work, work. The harder you work, the more money you make. And that's true in a lot of businesses, but the less that you trade, the more money that you make. I've realized that. And here's a story. I actually I funded a trading account. This was like 4 years ago. I funded a trading account with $5,000. And I flipped that $5,000 account to $10,000 in like a day or two. I was trading cryptos like Bitcoin. When Bitcoin first came out on Hugo's Way, I was like, oh, this is crazy. You can trade 24/7. I was hyped. And I was killing it with XRP and Bitcoin. But I took an account from $5,000 to $10,000. I don't know if it was a day or two. Let's just say it was in a very short amount of time. And I was stoked. I felt like I was on top of the world. I'm like, all right, cool. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the account from 10K to 20K. I didn't have a stop loss. I used way too big of a lot size and blew the account. I woke up the next morning, saw negative $10,000 on my history tab. I was like, no fucking way. I need to claim this as a loss for my taxes. But guys, it's just You can't be out here risking your whole account because this money does not come easy. But just the way that I like to think of it, and I said this in the beginning, is like the long-term mentality. Think long-term, because 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, you can master the whole trading industry and become a profitable trader, and you're literally walking around with the ATM with you. Once you learn how to trade and you're successful, it's like, hey, I got an ATM with me. It's coming with me everywhere I go. And you guys can make money wherever you want once you master the skill of trading. So that is tip number 2. Tip number 3 is focus on your own journey. If I were you, I would unfollow every Forex trader on Instagram. If you guys have an Instagram, it's bad, guys. There's a study that was done recently, and it was saying 50% of young teens are more depressed than they were now than 10 or 20 years ago because of social media. And this stuff is dangerous. Everyone's comparing their life to this person's life, and they feel like, oh, if I don't have that, I'm not happy. Like, guys, I'm guilty of it. I swear, I sometimes see other traders on there, and I'm like, dude, how are they killing? I'm not. Like, why do they have fucking 5 exotic cars, and I have my Mercedes and my Maserati? Like, what's going on? So understand that you shouldn't be trading for the screenshot. You should be trading for the setup, like you progressing and getting feedback, because you're your own trading coach at the end of the day. You need to be able to level up as a trader and get feedback why you're doing things right and what you're doing wrong. Like, you just want as much feedback as you want. One tip that I can give you guys is when you trade, I'll definitely trade on a computer, by the way, guys, but on MetaTrader 4 on your computer, on the bottom right-hand tab, that's where you could see your profit. What I did is I got a little piece of paper and I got tape, and I just taped it over the profit tab. So when I'm taking a trade, I can't see the profit or loss. That does not matter to me. All I'm focused on is the setup that I am in, if it's going to hit my take profit or stop loss. And once a trade hits my stop loss or my take profit, boom, I'm going to get all the feedback that I need. I'm going to go back and look at the markets and say, oh, did this right, but I did this wrong. Okay, well, next trade, let me see what I can do better. Now, the next trade, I'm like, oh, did everything right. I am good. So really take these tips to the grave with you guys. These are things that have really helped me out as a trader. Hope you guys got some type of value from this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, guys.